Okay there, welcome to Racin' and Stuff, the show where we talk about racing and other stuff. And by other stuff, I mean sports most of the time. I'm Chris, your wonderful co-host, and I'm with Kyle.
I'm Kyle.
How's it going, Kyle? How you
Good.
today?
I'm good.
You know, I wanted to save this for on the air. It's just something random. I'm kind of hurting a little bit because in the bathroom just a minute ago pre-show, the guy just mopped and I definitely fell. Definitely fell on the floor. My leg kind of hurts a little bit. I wanted to save that for on the air. I was like, that's embarrassing. I'm glad nobody saw that. But yeah. So apparently you're doing better than me. So
I haven't fallen in the bathroom recently, if that's what you mean.
good. Well, yeah. So nice way to start episode 27 is falling in the bathroom before the show. Anyway, so this past weekend we had obviously we're doing the show on Wednesday. We had yet another for the second consecutive week rain delayed NASCAR event at Watkins Glen. However, I thought
It's going to be weird when the race is on Sunday again.
yeah, it is going to be weird because it's been 2 weeks. I actually, however, thought it was worth the wait. I thought it was a pretty good race. What did you think?
I thought it was a pretty good race, too. Lead changes. My guy, Ambrose, who I picked, he was having a good run. And there was some wrecks. Junior wreck, that's always great.
You're gonna get muted. Yeah, I thought it was a really good race. We've talked before. I think we actually talked in our preview last week about road course racing and how it tends to be pretty exciting. I thought it was a good race. It seemed like quite a few battles. And one thing I really like about road course racing too is the strategy. I love the fact that we were watching it with Doug, and Doug even said about halfway through the race, he said, "I have no idea who's going to win." He's like, "I love it." He's like, "I have no idea who's going to win this race. I can't really think of anybody that is running." He was like, "I know, Kurt Busch had a very strong car," and he's like, "I know that Kurt Busch probably has the strongest car, but I'm like, I don't know who's going to actually."
Yeah, he pitted really early at one point in the race, too, trying that different strategy. I don't know if it paid off. I don't.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean, all strategy. And, what's interesting is Marcus Ambrose finished second, like you said, and he even made an extra pit stop. Or maybe he made one fewer pit stop. He was on a different strategy than everybody else because remember, he didn't pit until I don't think he made an extra pit stop. I think Kurt Busch is the one that made an extra pit stop.
He
made one fewer one because everybody came in at what was it, lap 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they always say it's 35 laps at Watkins Glen. So and they always work backward for those of you that are listening that don't know. At a road course, because it's so long and the laps take a minute 20 or whatever, they can make a full pit stop and not even be close to going a lap down.
Right.
And so they work backward and they go, okay, it's a 90 lap race. We can make it from 30, we can go 35 laps. So they go backward, okay, lap 55. Backward from that, lap 20. So usually lap 20 is boom, when they all hit pit road. And the fact that, it was lap 18, it was close for some people, and Ambrose decided to stay out. So he was on a different strategy and still finished second. So.
And he had a really strong car, too. He was leading for the beginning, I think it was in the beginning of the race, and looked like he had a really dominant car.
Yeah,
but Tony Stewart got him in the end. And actually, Tony Stewart was really good because Ambrose wasn't able to catch him either.
Yeah, well, and that's because it's in relation to your competition.
Yeah.
And the fact that Ambrose had a really, really strong car and Stewart, was pulling away from him. I do think that you're right. The fact that Tony Stewart won, we both picked him, and clearly no one's surprised. I'm so impressed. I guess it doesn't really even impress me anymore. It's just cool that he does that. He's clearly one of the best road racers. He's actually taken over as the all-time road course winner in NASCAR now from Jeff Gordon, sadly. But yeah.
He's probably so good because he's one of the best actual drivers out there, and road courses take a lot of good driving,
skill.
Skill, yeah.
Yeah, no, because you're exactly right. Because the fact of the matter is, I mean, you go from the regulars like Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace at the time, people like that are regulars that were skilled at the road courses, and then which means that they were all, say what you want about, people like Rusty Wallace or whatever, but they're good drivers.
Right.
And then you have somebody like a Casey Kane or somebody that sometimes will blatantly say, I just want to get a top 15 or a top 20, and I'm terrible at this, I don't like it. Or like David
Casey Kane may be a bad example since he won. But
a better example is David Rudiman
or Jeff Burton.
David Rudiman has blatantly said, I don't like it, it's not what I've done, I'm just try and get through it. Yeah. And then you go to the real extreme where there's Michael Waltrip, who gets out of the car. I mean, like
well, when he's not racing the full season, why
he
would
is
you?
though technically this year,
Well,
the rest of this year. But he's done that the last couple years. But I mean, but do you know what I mean though? I just can't like if I had, I mean, I don't know. Even if I was like 20th in points,
you still want to race everywhere, not just. I mean, if he's gonna do that, then why race? I mean, why only race at the places you like? Why race race everywhere except for the road courses?
yeah. I mean, it's just. So you get the extremes, but you're right. Tony Stewart is a very, very skilled driver, and it shows. He's won 5 times at Watkins Glen, 5 of the last like 10 years since he's only been in the league that long. I just can't believe that. I'm glad that we obviously both picked him. I mean, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. Like I said, I think I said it on the show last week that you'd be a fool not to pick Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he won. So, but his crew was good. I mean, his crew is solid. You know, he had a great car. And Ambrose said, I don't know if you heard this. Ambrose said after the race, I was catching him. I was really running hard to keep pressure on him, but he just didn't make a mistake. And that's what he said. And I was like, I wouldn't expect Tony Stewart to make a mistake at a road course. So, but yeah. Speaking of other drivers that we just talked about with skill, yeah, Jeff Gordon didn't have a good weekend.
Well,
not a good weekend for Jeff Gordon.
Now he started in the back, but he was gaining quite a few positions until he got caught in 2 wrecks, I think.
Yeah.
The second one ending his day.
Yeah. Well, the first one coming out of the inner loop bus stop thingy, Stremme got in the grass and spun in front of him and Harvick, and it collected both of them. However, Harvick sadly got the worst end of the deal because it ruined his front, the left front of his car. Gordon got hit by Harvick, slam like straight in the door, so it didn't really affect him. He was up. They were both up to like 19th or 20th. That's about where they were.
Yeah, there.
And then that happened. But then Jeff Gordon, we'll talk a little bit more about Harvick in a second, but then Jeff Gordon went back to the back of the pack, like 35th or whatever, worked his way back up, and was running like 16th when...
Was he really that high?
He was. He was like 16th or 17th when that happened. He might have been a little lower when the actual wreck happened, but he was working his way back up.
Didn't he start the race in the 30s?
He started 33rd.
Yeah, and he was working his way up, and then got in a wreck, then was working his way up again, and then the second wreck, which you can't recover from that.
No, well, yeah, and it was. I've actually watched it a couple times back on like YouTube and places just to see the replay, and it was actually, I mean, it was. Man, when you watch it in real time, it was scary. And Doug actually said, or you said it, somebody said that it reminded them of an IndyCar wreck, like where everything just flies off. I mean, and think about it. The car of tomorrow is that car that you've seen where guys bounce off the wall, hit people, and still run and everything. And to see that car explode like that.
The last time I saw that, I think, was when Ryan Newman flipped at Talladega or Daytona.
Oh, when Carl Edwards did.
Well, I was thinking of the actual Ryan
you're
Newman
talking about,
one.
I thought you meant with the car of tomorrow.
Oh,
you were talking
no.
about back in 03.
Back in 03, yeah.
When the car
just exploded, like parts flying everywhere, and the car pretty much disintegrated.
Yeah, but I mean, because what happened was, and you know, it was interesting with what both Jeff Burton, who was also included, so not a good day for RCR either, and Jeff Gordon, was they said that they saw him coming out of that turn. They saw him hit the tires. They knew he was coming back, and Jeff Gordon said, I just was hoping I was going to get past him.
Now, had Jeff Gordon taken the shortcut instead of going around there, he could have avoided the whole thing.
Yeah, nobody ever used their shortcut, did they?
Yeah, I was really hoping for it.
Yeah, I think, and then I loved Doug's disgust when the announcer actually said something about the shortcut.
Yeah, it said Kurt Busch took a shortcut somewhere, but it was legal.
Yeah, because it was in the grass. Yeah, but no, Jeff Gordon. Obviously, there's more than just the context of that accident. He's been battling, and we've talked about it on the show. He's been battling back problems all year, and it continues to be like the thing is it's not like wild speculation, but I guess it could be. But it continues to be talked about as to whether he's going to retire at the end of the year. Obviously, I have thoughts about this because he's been my favorite driver for upwards of 11, 12 years. I mean, what do you think?
I don't see how you can retire when you're still that competitive. He was leading the points for a long time this year, and now he's third, I think, and
solidly in third. Yeah.
And he's won races.
He won a race this year. Yeah.
I don't see how you can retire after. I mean, let's wait for the year to end, but he's going to be in contention for a championship.